It's the Detroit Lions taking on the Chicago Bears.
Coming to you from the venue that hosted the Super Bowl back in February of '06. Welcome to the Detroit Lions.
Everyone's blessed. Everyone's going to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm not going to get upset.
We are ready for football. Michael Badgley set to do the honors, and we are underway from Ford Field.
You're going to love him anyway.
The fuck, man?
Happy blessed Thanksgiving to everybody. Tough week, of course, but we plan to respond accordingly. We plan to get our little swagger back and fix the things that we let down last week. True. Good day, everyone. Everyone's great. Everyone's blessed. Everyone's going to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Not going to get upset or mad at the family. That old uncle that you really did invite going to show up, and you're going to love him anyway.
Just shy of the 30-yard line.
And happy blessed Thanksgiving to everybody. Tough week, of course, but we plan to respond accordingly. We plan to get our little swagger back and fix the things that we let down
They go here with
last week.
former Lion, DeAndre
Tremendous
Swift.
game.
And he works his way
We still
forward
got,
to pick up
a
4
little bit
yards
hanging on.
there
We're
on
trying to
second
flush.
down.
Trust me, we're
Nice
trying to
chunky
flush
yards
it
that first
tremendously.
down. It really
But
opens up your
sometimes the
options
little
for
things
what you
that
want to
creep
do
up on
on
you,
second.
you remind
You go
yourself
right
of
back to
the
him and hope he
opportunity you
explodes,
had.
or sucker the
And
defense
you
in
pray that you
before
still have
throwing
an
over the top.
opportunity, but I wanted for the young man so
Looking
badly
to throw on
that
second
his
down.
heart to
There's a short throw.
just
It's
totally
caught by
flip.
Kmet. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 10 of the Bears' first down.
So you can find new flavors and even new friends. That's the powerful backing of American Express.
Completely. In saying that, we have
They'll run the draw
a
here with
tremendous task
Swift.
at hand. This team,
Good
just like
burst
the
there,
last
gets
one,
him 7 up to
they're not
midfield.
playing indicative of the record. They're much better.
Fuck.
They have a winning program.
To that point,
One
it's
of the
going to
most
be interesting
heralded
to see the
coaches
personnel chess
in the
match
Big
as this
12,
one
and he's been that way
progresses.
for a while. I have the utmost
Can they
respect
continue to create
for
running
him,
lanes
and he
out
is
of
flat
passing
out
sets?
hilarious
And
to
if
me.
so,
Like,
it's going to be a long day for the
I mean,
defense.
just seeing him sit at the head table like the grand poobah of the Big 12 meetings, like he's our guy. And I got a lot of love and admiration for him. And I start smiling when I think of him, when I watch his press conferences. And he is honest, real, and hilarious. Because there's a lot of truth in all this. So I got the most respect for him and his team. It's darn fantastic on running the football. We know they're going to come and do that. We got to stop that and protect their quarterback and get after theirs. So it's going to be a tremendous game. Both teams, I feel, still have a lot to play for. We just want to finish right. We want to get right. We have the best fan base, I feel like, in college football. And I'm thankful that they hurt because we hurt because they have expectation. At the beginning of the season, we talked about last year was your hope. It's still hope. Now it's expectation. And people frustrated, man, because of the expectation. And I like that. And I'm thankful for that. RJ Johnson, great communication. And Resnick, strategic communication. I don't know what's the difference of communication and strategic communication. Maybe one is what I had and the divorce was strategic communication. And one was just communication, or lack thereof. So strategic communication is great. Finals announced for several major awards. Travis, finals for Walter Camp. Bednarik.
That's complete to Peoples Jones.
Shador finals for Davis O'Brien.
8 yards on the completion there.
Travis numbers are tremendous. And the last note is we don't control our own destiny. Before I open up for questions, I'm going to address something that just transpired and they brought to my attention today, that Travis is a finalist for the Walter Camp Player of the Year, Maximum Player of the Year. Bednarik beat him to Player of the Year, playing a couple best
Very
receiver,
early momentum changer there.
regardless
Actually,
of
a dream
position.
killer for the
And
defense
what's
because they forced a third down. Felt like they had a good chance to get off the field defensively, and then they got hit with
how
that
is
big
Travis
play.
Hunter snubbed by the Jim Thorpe Award? You can have my award. You can have it back. Matter of fact, I'm going to give him mine. I ain't using it. It's just sitting there collecting dust. So Travis could have my Thorpe Award because
First and goal,
if this
a
ain't the
chance
most
to convert
idiotic
that
thing
early turnover
in
into
college
points.
football that he's not a finalist for the
Out
Jim
of the
Thorpe
gun,
Award,
Goff.
and he is, I would say
And the
arguably,
timing
but
a bit
I don't
off
think
that
it's
time
really
as
an
that one
argument
falls to the ground.
about this young man
Man
being
coverage is
the
certainly a
best
staple of their defense.
defensive
It's built
back
for plays like that,
in college
forcing that
football.
incompletion.
I ain't saying nothing about the receiver part of it.
They'll
I'm
go
just
again
talking
from
about
the
the
3
defensive
here
back. He
on second
rarely
and
gets
goal.
thrown at. He's won a game for tackling for us, and he's always
Montgomery.
on point. So if you
Oh,
bring
he's
up the
going
statistics, I don't
absolutely
know
nowhere
how
as
in
he
the
is hit
world
behind
is
the
Travis
line.
Hunter
That's
not
going
a
to go down as
finalist
a
for
loss
the
of
Jim
5,
Thorpe
and it
Award.
brings
They
up
just
third
pretty
down.
much messed up all the integrity of the award, and he could have mine. Whoever's voting
Here's
down there,
Goff.
who's ever bringing it home, thank you.
Throw
Because
to
I don't
St.
even want
Brown,
mine now.
complete on the left
God bless
side.
you.
And he
On that
takes
now,
this down to about
let's
the
talk
2
about
before going
whatever
out
you
of
guys want to talk
bounds.
about.
That pass
Hey,
play
Coach.
good for
How you doing, Nick?
7,
Good, how are you?
but it still brings up a
When you look
4th
at
and
the
goal.
film from
Great
this
job
game, you
here
see
by
Devin Neal. Defense support and staff, all your defensive line coaches. What's the message to them, and how are they thinking this week with the
Well,
award?
the thing like they always think, we got to
Here
be
we go on
dominant. We
4th.
got to,
And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by
Right
Jaquan
thing,
Brisker.
make
And
the
the
plays.
Bears are going to get the ball back
we just
on
got to
the
be better
turnover.
coaches-wise
They
as well as
hold on
player-wise. We
4th
got
and
to
goal.
do a better job
Well, Charles,
as, include
certainly
me. I'm the
circle
first
that
one.
play.
We got to do
We might
a
have to
much better
revisit
job
it
of
later.
getting these
They have
guys
3 in
prepared
their back
to
pocket.
play the
They go
game.
for
I
it on
said
4th and goal and throw
to
the
the team
pick.
the other day,
Well,
we
you know,
came
we're
to
still
play,
in
we
the
didn't
first
come to win
half.
or to dominate. And this week we're having that attitude that we're coming to win and to dominate.
But it looks like they burned the book and just said, give me the
Hey, Coach
analytics.
John Treach, 9 News. Love States has loved the ride, especially
When he
with
got off the end there
this great
very
season with
quickly to
Shedeur
make
and
that play.
Travis.
Yeah, it was almost like the
But
bullet
with the
train,
Big 12
wasn't it? I mean,
title
just
game
boom,
in doubt,
quick,
this
and
be the
what a
last time
terrific
fans
play,
see
holding them to no
in a
gain.
Buffs uniform.
They'll
No,
try
we're
and
in a bowl
set up
game.
the screen
I'm
to
pretty sure we
Swift.
secured that
And he takes it
weeks ago
beyond the
for Vegas.
35
So
before
no,
going
it's
out
not
of
the last
bounds.
time you're going to see them in
First
a
down for
Buff
the Bears, a
uniform.
gain of 15.
We
These
can talk all we
two
want
and
about
all
football
the
being
rest
a
of the
game of
seniors have done a
strength and
wonderful
brawn.
job
It's also a game of
of getting us
mismatches,
to where
and
we
they're trying
are
to create one
instilling
there, getting it
so
to the
much
back end of the
expectation in
backfield
our
to
fan
make a
base
bigger
and
play.
expectation in
Say, get it to
ourselves.
him in space,
So
let him
we're
use
going
his
to
leg.
fight
Yeah,
and
if he
try
can
to
get
go
a
out there and
matchup
kick
against a
some butt
linebacker or
and
maybe a
end this
defensive end
thing
dropping out in a zone
on the
blitz,
right note.
he's going to win that battle just about every
And
time.
we're going to go to a bowl
But that was a
game and
quality
end
play to
this thing
start a
on
new
the
set
right
it
note
down.
because
Devin
our
Simply,
fans
offensive
deserve the
line, winning
absolute
the
best.
battle up front
And I feel
and
like
winning it in
whatever
a
bowl
big
game we're
way
chosen
and
to go
giving
to,
their guy in the
whatever we
backfield
choose, we're
a
going to
nice
bang it.
lane to hit.
We're going to do what we normally do everywhere we
And
go
they'll
on the
pick up
road.
about 3
And it's going
there,
to
up
be
to the
a tremendous
43.
game. And you're going to
Some of the
see
most unselfish players on
everything
any
you've seen
football
throughout
team,
the season regarding
defensive
our
tackles,
athletes.
because we ask them to just eat up blocks,
Brown schools
allow other people to
from
make
you guys are
tackles.
facing another really
When he
good
can
running
make the
back
play
this week.
himself,
Is Big
we
12
just saw
preseason
there,
offensive player of the year,
that's a big
Ollie
deal.
Gordon. What do you guys have to do to make sure that what happened in
there.
Kansas
That's
City last
batted
Saturday
down
doesn't
and
happen again?
Well, we
incomplete.
just got to be,
Quarterbacks
we just
work
got to
all
do
the
our
time on
jobs.
manipulating a defense with
It's
their
simple.
eyes
We
and
got
their
to do
head
our jobs.
movement. In
When
this
there's
case,
a call,
he
we
just
got to
stared the
execute
receiver
what's called.
down. That
A
allowed
week
for
before we
excellent
executed what
coverage,
was called.
able
Last
to
week
knock
we
that
didn't.
one away.
Just got to execute the call that's sent in.
They're
We got to
indeed
do a better
going
job
for
of
it
that.
as they
Tremendous.
look
And
to
get the
throw.
ball.
Able to find the open man. That's
Tigers, how you
complete.
doing?
And he's able to get this to the
I got to
40-yard
build off
line
your
before he's out
response
of
to Mickey.
bounds. A
Have you
curious
seen what you
decision to go
wanted to
for
see
it, but it
following
pays off with a
Saturday's
first
game?
down.
Yeah. Our young men, they're tremendous, man. They work their butts off. They don't take days off. They practice their butts off in short weeks. So that makes you hurry up and flush and get over it real quick. But these guys are responding tremendously. I'm proud of them. I really am.
He was determined to blow that play up, and he sure
Coach
did.
Beckers, it's your
Running
credit.
lanes have definitely not been there
Good,
for him
thank
here
you.
in the first
Kind
half,
of
and I
harp
don't
off
think
what
it's
these
all
guys
been his
said already.
fault. His offensive
You made
line
that,
hasn't
you
given
had a
him
great
much
speech
space.
after the game
A lot of
saying,
results
they're
there.
intoxicated by success. Maybe how do you flush that out? How do you stay humbled? And how do you just learn from that?
Eluding the pressure
We that worked, and we lost. scoreboard said we lost. American saw us lose. That's a humbling experience when you've been winning and expected to win. So it's a tremendously humbling experience. So you just got to go back to the drawing boards, look and see what you did wrong, or what we didn't do, what we didn't call, or what we didn't manufacture. And then the young men have to do the same. It has to be self-analysis for everyone, coaches included, staff included. And you just go back to the drawing board and let's get it on. You can't just harbor on what happened yesterday, man. I'm not built like that. You know, stuff the flesh. I'm not built like that. To sit up there and look in my rearview mirror. I'm gonna crash if I keep doing that. I gotta look forward straight ahead. Let's go get it. That's kind of how I get down. You gotta understand how the baseball player. I can't worry about the last strike out. I gotta go up there and play. Or lay down a bunt or something. I gotta get on base.
3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first.
Brian Elwell Davis.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, we know going into this weekend, you guys need certain things to happen around the conference.
They get to them with their
But the first thing is you guys got to win.
and they make it hurt a
Teams
little
like
bit
that, your
extra
team
with a
kicks
field
off, makes
goal.
one play
And
for it.
anytime you give the ball up,
Just take care of you
first
first,
thing
let
the
you
coach tells
cross
his
the
defense, don't let them
want to take
score
care of you
off of
first.
this. You've got to
I'm
put
not
out
the
the
type of guy
fire.
to sit down and push everyone to lose
That's
so
what
we can
one NFL
reach
coach
our goal. I'm
turns his
not built like
defense.
that.
The
We had
firemen,
opportunity.
go out there, guys,
Let's go out there.
and don't let them put
Okay,
some
let's go
points
ahead
on
and
the
kick
board.
butt.
The Lions
And whatever
offense
happens,
ready to
but
kick
I'm not
off
gonna
their
sit
next
there. I wish
drive.
they lose so we can.
Their second drive here, the ball
I'm not
game
like
charge.
that.
Remember last
I
time
don't
they
wish
threw the interception,
wrong
but
on
the
somebody so
defense
we can be
held
right.
up a bit more, but didn't
I'm
break,
not built
only
like that,
giving
man.
up the 3 points.
We want to go out there
Obviously,
and
they left
play
some
the
points on
best
the table there
game
last time out,
that
but
we
boy,
can
they have to
play
thank their
for
defense for
ourselves,
holding the
period.
opposition just 3 after they threw
Regardless
the
of
pick.
what happens
Their turn
thereafter.
now. Back out on the field, put together a
Will
good
you
drive,
watch
and get
some
some
of the
points
games
of
on
their own.
Saturday?
No. I ain't built like that. I just said that. I ain't built to sit up there and watch
They'll
football.
face
You
the
gonna get mad
handoff.
and
Now
upset
gone.
because someone's not playing like you got a remote
That
control.
throw
Like
taken in by
it's like
Jamison
PlayStation.
Williams.
You can't turn the TV on and off. And it don't
What up, Scott Walker?
We
What it do, bro?
McGough and Williams hooking up there
How you
for
doing?
Lions first.
Excellent.
Just wanted to ask senior some significant players.
Now back to throw. A hit as he throws
Have to say
there,
about the
incomplete.
seniors or the players that will be finishing their home here at Fulham.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Well, all of them have done a wonderful job. I'm not going to sit here because I'm going to forget somebody because I'm not great with names
Goff
anyway.
now to throw.
It's a tremendous day, but we've been preparing these young men for this day all season and getting them ready for the not just the emotional part,
25.
but
What about?
expectation of the game. But what happens
There's still
after this
3 full
game
quarters
to these
left
young
in
men?
this one.
You
More than
guys
enough
just
time
worry
to
about
look
them
past
running
the
out there
early
and
mistakes and find
I'm
a way
worried
to
about
lead
what
your team to a
happens
win.
afterwards when they
Mental
don't have these
resiliency,
jerseys, when
a
they don't have this
characteristic
uniform,
every
when
NFL team's looking
school
for
is not
in
there
their
anymore,
quarterback.
when
They'll start on the
collective
ground
money
with
ain't
Swift.
coming no more.
They'll get him
All
down
that
after
stuff,
a
all
pickup
the
of 8,
fanfare, I'm
2nd
worried
and
about
2.
them then.
Now you
What
often say
happens
that
then?
sort of
And I
Oh, I ain't got Madden 25, bro.
resources
What do you think,
have
early shot here?
provided
I like where you're
structure
going.
enough
Obviously,
so
we've
they
been
can
together for a
transition
while because you know
into
me.
a real
I want
growth
to
of
take that
young
shot
men that are
early
not
and
going pro.
loosen things up.
And some of them are going to have dreams and hopes and aspirations to do such. But some of them aren't. It's just the ugly truth that I'm trying
From
to
the
prepare them
43,
for
his
the
second
ugly
and a
truth.
couple.
I'm trying to make it as beautiful as possible to present it to them because this is going to happen.
They stay on the
It's
ground.
going to happen.
This time it's Johnson. And
Hey,
they'll
you were
only
last
get a
time
yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
the same uniform
There's not a whole lot of
as
room to operate there on
your
that
sons.
carry.
No, not at all. They did a
How
really nice
will you
job
feel
staying in their
being
proper places
coaching at
and not
home
allowing any
at
lanes to
Folsom
open up.
with
I don't know. I have no idea. Never had that feeling yet.
They'll try
So
and run
I
for
don't
it.
know.
Here's
I don't know how
Johnson.
we're going to handle that. I
And
don't
he's
know
able
what
to get the
emotions are
first
going to
before
be.
he's taken down
But
at the
we have another
36.
game. Like we have a bowl game
7 yards
guaranteed. So
there, good enough to move
I'm
the
not going
sticks. So from the 36
to go crazy
now,
because I
1st
know
and
we
10.
got one more left. You know, so maybe that last one,
Now they'll
that
switch it up
last
here and
walk
look to
may be
throw.
something
Rolling to his right.
to behold. But
And
I'm
this is
not focused on my last hurrah
spectacular
with my kids.
one-handed
I'm
grab
focused on
there.
winning this last game with my
That'll be
team.
marked as a
That's my
27-yard
focus.
pickup. Plenty of shouts from
Hey,
this
Coach
crowd
Griffin
as they
against CU
watch the
Sports Report. I
replay.
wanted to go back to Kansas really quickly. It felt like they did a lot of
Why
things.
you keep going back to Kansas? I don't want to go back to Kansas. Kansas is over, man. Let's go to Oklahoma State.
Can I ask you a question?
Lines up a very good call there.
It felt like they did a
defensively
lot
to
of things that
challenge
took
one.
advantage of
Is
how
that now will
aggressively
wind
you
up
guys
an
play
incomplete
on
pass.
defense. Did you feel that? And does a game like that make you
I
reevaluate?
don't agree. I don't agree with that. I just think we didn't come to play. One of the first things I said on the sideline in the ears of the coaches of the head said
Operating
is
for
I
the
don't see it in their eyes
gun.
today.
Williams. There's a short throw.
get to
It's
your
caught by
guys
Kmet.
and
They
make sure
get
they're
6.
ready.
That'll leave them with
That's my
3rd
job
and
as
4.
well.
In
But
search
I
of
don't see
4
it in their
yards
eyes.
here to pick up the
So
first down.
they played a wonderful game. Let's not take anything away from our opponents. But before the game, we said, if they stop us, we allow it. If they score, we allow it. So we feel as though we allow what transpired. That's on us. It's not on nobody else. That's on us.
So here's a 1st and
Coach,
10 now,
how you
down
doing?
inside the
How you
20.
Couple things. First, injury reports. Isaiah, maybe Preston, Shane. Will we see any of those guys back?
Isaiah, Shane will be back.
They will run
Preston,
straight ahead with Swift. And they work this
No,
down to the
everybody's
15
playing.
for a pickup of
And then we
4.
have an outside shot
2nd
that
down and
Jimmy
6 now.
is going to play. 88 is out. Right tackle's out.
Back to throw.
I'm just looking at positions in my head
They'll
right
get this
now.
off to Swift.
Maybe a
And they're
guy or
gonna
so
lose some on
special
this
teams,
play.
but
Being knocked back to the
nothing
18. It'll be a
that
loss of 2,
devastating.
maybe 3 on the play. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
we should have
And they try to
enough
swing it out
depth to
left into the
compensate for what
flat. Complete,
transpired.
but
That
really nice
deserved.
open field tackling.
Yesterday
played
at
that
his
one
press
like a great
conference, Kansas
boxer.
State's
They were
head
on their
coach was
toes on
talking
that
about
one.
the
They
new
weren't back
Big
on their
12. This is the
heels
first year and
reacting to
spoke
the
about how
play.
maybe the league is at a
Came right
disadvantage
for it.
because you
I
played
mean,
9
nice
league
tackle.
games.
Oh,
I was just wondering how you felt about the first year in this new conference and how it stacks up.
Well, we're excited. We're happy. We're happy with how we fared, how we're faring, and how we're going to end. There's a lot of talent.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
And
It's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
This is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him.
doing it, and some others just popping up out of nowhere that
Didn't we
we
practice in that color
wouldn't
jersey all
respect
week?
it, we
Not
would
the one that you're
reject it.
throwing it
And
to?
you see these
And
teams
maybe
get
you have to be
opportunity to
smarter with
play
it.
for it all. That's tremendous to me, man. So it's a lot of parity, it's a lot of equality in this league because you always feel like you have a chance, and I'm proud of that. We have the best measure, I feel like, in football, and they're doing a great job. I really do.
And last,
And let me say this as well before this.
They'll try the middle with Montgomery.
Coach reached out to me
And a
as well as
6-yard
the young
gain gets him
man
right
and
around the
Ian Shador
43.
are going to talk.
Now,
Because
Brandon,
he's
that's the way
going
you
to
want to run the
apologize, and
football.
Shador's going to accept it. I know that because Shador's not upset with that. So let's not make a big deal out of something that transpired in the heat of the battle.
A shotgun
I know
snap
how
for
it looks.
Gone.
I know how to
He
see
gets
the
this
guys
out
trying
wide to
to
Gibbs.
make a play, he's playing ball.
And
But
tackled down
they
after
will
a gain of
communicate
3.
with one
Leaves him
another.
with
So
1
it's no
yard
hard
to go
feelings.
on 3rd down. So
Yes,
they just
okay,
need
yes.
1 yard
and the
here
worst
to
part
pick
about
up the first
the
down.
league was that it looks like maybe only
They'll
one
run
Big
it.
12
Here's
team will
Montgomery.
get in.
Well, they hit him in
I
the
just wonder,
backfield, and he
do you
will not
think it makes a
escape.
difference
And
that
that
the Big
is
12
not
plays
going to
9
get
league
it
games?
done. And a loss of 3 to bring
Yes,
up
but I'm not,
4th.
man, hey,
Just a simple run play there on
ain't
3rd and 1,
tripping on it.
but
It's
this
what it
team was
is.
up to the
I
challenge
mean,
and stopped
when
them.
you play
Bring it up
dominant
4th
football and
down.
you ball out, you're
On
going to get
4th down,
opportunity.
Jack Fox
Play
on
in
to
the
punt for
tournament.
Detroit.
You're going to get opportunity because they want the best teams and they want the teams who draw the most as
Jones
well.
on the
So
return.
it's about several things.
They'll net only 35 here
Unfortunately, it is
following a
what it is.
43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And the Bears take over. The
Hey, Coach Scott
Chicago
Proctor, DVR,
offense
you
set to get
Good,
started.
good, sir.
What do you
It's
get?
been very much a
I know
slow
your video
start for
focus
them.
is
3
Friday,
drives and
Oklahoma
just the
State.
3
You said
points.
last week, though, that you kind of already have this thing mapped out in terms of next year and beyond. I'm just curious how you kind of describe this situation, a high school quarterback or even a transfer quarterback would kind of be walking into, next season, and kind of be as
Effort to get in there and drop it.
But they're pretty darn good.
It's safe to say that
We
the
have options,
secondary
tremendous
really contributed to that
options,
sack.
tremendous
Nick
options
said
when it comes
5
to that.
defensive backs.
And
They
we've just
covered
secured one of
everything.
the top
Nowhere
high
to go
school
with the
quarterbacks
football.
in the
But my
country.
question is, why didn't he throw it
I'm going
away?
to cross
He'll
that
take this
hurdle
one
when
out
we
to
get
about
there.
the 13.
Right now, man, I'm
He's able to
focused
get
and I'm
4
locked
back on
in
the run, but now they'll have to find something here on
that's right
2nd
there
and
in front
about
of us
14.
on
Any running play that's called,
Friday.
they're always hoping that
That's
it's
the
going to break
focus.
big.
I'm
You
not
go
thinking
the
about no
distance.
Greggy, no
When you
dress,
get a nice game like
no.
that, you're able to do so
I got
many
peas
things
and rice
anyway.
and
You
yellow
come back and
rice
run
and
essentially the
sweet
same play
potatoes and
again,
yams
continue to
and
move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball
what
now
kind of
because
cake is
usually
that? Red
get the
velvet
defense back
cake?
on its heels.
He's got his
I'm not thinking
target.
about all
That's
that.
complete. And he will
Think
have
about
the
this
Bears
game.
first down as they're
That's-
able to get
that's
the
out of
3rd down
Thanksgiving.
conversion.
Well, we're used to seeing the guy that you
Hey,
consider
Coach,
the
Jake
number one
Schwartz,
receiver
DNVR. How
double
you doing?
cover. But how
Doing well.
about
How you
this
doing?
guy?
Good. I know you just said you're focused, but early signing day is a week away. Just is there anything that you can share with us about that?
We're gonna be straight.
No doubt about that at all. And you know something?
We got
We'll
it.
hear about that from him soon.
You know, we don't take a lot of high school players, and the ones that we take, we want them to play
Perfectly got a
immediately.
great
We want
break
them
on
to
the ball and able to force that incompletion.
Here's second and 10.
be productive. Best thing about it, we're going to the bowl. They get to practice with us in the bowl game, so
Off the
they
play
get to
fake.
get an early start and get here, and we can see what they're working with. So we're excited
Flying
about
in for
that.
that sack,
But
Aiden
you know, we're gonna hit
Hutchinson.
that portal like it had
They
been
tried
hit
to go
before.
with a
We know
little
that.
play action
That's
there,
what we
but
do.
nobody on the
And
defensive
we have
side
certain
bit.
positions
Yeah, they adjusted in
we know
time and in
everything
a
we
big
want.
way and
We know what
ultimately
we're
got
gonna
the
get.
sack on
Of
offense.
course, we
Sometimes you're running
spoke to
play
all the
action
guys
just
that
to set up a
probably
certain
gonna jump in the
blocking
portal,
technique.
but
In this
we're gonna do
case,
some good
none of it
things
worked.
and replace some
Going
players
deep
that
here for Allen.
pretty much are done. They're replaceable. You know, what are you gonna get from Travis and Shador? We're gonna try the best to take
but
two
it's going to
players
bring
from
up
each. We get
fourth
four
down.
guys just to
Now
handle
on
with those
fourth
two.
down, it's
And we
Cameron
have some great.
Johnston on to
I mean,
punt it
Cam
away.
and Shadoza,
Back
we
deep,
got some great
Khalif
players.
Raymond.
And Lester and Will Shepard is a wonderful talent. That's what we want to do. But we plan on bringing some tremendous talent, as we did last year.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
Really picked up some momentum.
So
Obviously,
give
Travis
them 5 yards there on the pitch and
touchdown on
catch.
Saturday.
And
Just
that's going to bring
how
up
big is that
second
big
down.
deal?
It's big because you got a choice. You come up there and bump and run, those guys have the ability to run by you. So you want to kind of play it safe, and we throw a quick screen out there, we get the right block, we can get out of there. And we show them that we can do some wonderful things. Not much as Travis, they're trying to take it forward. And pretty we can take it back this week.
That was well played there
Pat's
defensively.
been calling a good game. I know we didn't have a lot of
Which essentially
attempts
gave them
last
7
week
blockers
due to
up
the running
front.
game of the
Hard to
opposing
imagine
team.
with all that
But the
size and
offense,
beef
they
that they
still
can let
put
a
up
tackler
points.
through. But that's exactly
But you
what
don't want to be in a
happened.
situation
A
where you
loss
got to score
resulted.
every possession.
Sideline
But the screen game has been tremendous, and you cannot run a screen game unless you have receivers blocking and you have linemen get downfield blocking as well. And that's another way to get the ball out of Shador's hand. And honestly, it's another way to elongate the running game because it's a protected pass behind the line of scrimmage, and it's just like a run to us.
We see that after practices as well.
God bless you. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Matt Eberflus clearly in disagreement with that last call, and he's going to throw the challenge flag. And we'll get a moment here as they look this one over.
Yeah, remember now, the call on the field is what they'll stick with unless they have a lot of credit. Such a tough and demanding job. You and I both know that. Yeah, they make the right call way more often than they get it wrong.
So not successful there on the challenge, and he'll have to be careful from here on out because he'll only have one challenge remaining. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
This 2nd and 4. Back to the ground, this time Montgomery. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. That's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, and defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
All right, welcome to another episode of Occult in Plain Sight. Today we're going to be talking about Star Wars, something that I have referenced before, but we're going to get a little bit more in depth with it today. So let's get into it.
Defense was expecting run, and there goes a pass of over 15 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to throw, gone. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown. Jamison Williams hauling that one in from Jared Goff.
Now, I've always said that the creator of Star Lucas is a hell of a magician, because who else do you know who's made more money for the least amount of work? Most of his immense wealth has come from his intellectual property of Star Wars and his company of Lucasfilm. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about the former. The reason Star Wars was such a big hit then, and has been such a big flop now that it has been sold over to Disney, is because Lucas based a lot of the original Star Wars on archetypes and mythos. You have the princess who's been captured by the evil villain, is now the damsel in distress, needing to be rescued. The first time you see the evil villain, Darth Vader, you know that he's the villain just by looking at his outfit. There's the kid who's about to go on the hero's journey, who finds a mentor in an old wizard who's about to teach him the ways of the Force. And it's this idea of the Force that Lucas borrowed from Hermeticism and the occult. Most of all, there are a lot of space operas and sci-fi movies, but Star Wars stands apart from them with the inclusion of the Force and its powers, Jedi, Sith, lightsabers, and the classic good versus evil clash of polarity. And it's all done against the backdrop of a galactic civil war. The stakes couldn't be higher because literally everything's at stake. The fate of the galaxy hangs in the balance. So George Lucas uses a lot of polarity in Star Wars. It's the rebellion versus the galactic empire. It's the Jedi versus the Sith. And even polarity in size and scale. The very first scene of Star Wars, you have the huge Imperial Star Destroyer chasing the smaller Rebel ship. And it works. It worked well enough for Star Wars to be a colossal hit back in 1977. And I hate to put a date on myself here, but I remember seeing the original Star Wars back in the theater as a kid, and I was absolutely blown away by it, because at the time we'd never seen anything like it. Because not only did Lucas borrow from all these archetypes and mythos and incorporate a lot of polarity into the movie, but he also innovated the special effects as well. They were state-of-the-art, considered groundbreaking, and this was well before the digital age. The practical and modeling effects that he used at the time were completely revolutionary. And as a kid seeing this, I was instantly a fan, and I've seen every Star Wars movie in the theater except for Solo. And that's including the new terrible trilogy, but we'll get to that in a bit. The true magic of Star Wars lies within the idea of the Force, which George Lucas borrowed from the Hermetic principle of mentalism. The idea that there's this force that binds everything together, that's a part of everything. But the principle of mentalism also states that we're all connected, that everything is part of the all. Everything is actually one, much like cells in your body are separate but yet part of the same organ, which is also separate from other organs but yet part of the same body, etc. Because as the principle of mentalism would state that we are part of the all. Everything is a mental construct and is consciousness. And in Star Wars this is represented by the Force. But again, George Lucas also includes polarity in Star Wars by separating the Force into two halves, the dark side and the light side, the good versus evil. And the people that can master this Force, harness this power, are the magicians of Star Wars, known as the Jedi and the Sith. And I believe that they can master this Force, harness this power, are the magicians of Star Wars, known as the Jedi and the Sith. And I believe it may have been Luke's uncle who referred to Obi-Wan Kenobi as a crazy old wizard. And there may have even been some references to the Jedi being magic users, magicians in the latest Star Wars series, The Mandalorian, who get all their power from using the Force, manipulating what they've described as an energy field that surrounds everything. And this gives the Jedi certain powers, telekinesis, brief mind control, and incredible accuracy with lightsabers and other weapons, as in the case of Luke taking the shot that blew up the Death Star. But these are all theatrical powers. there to make the movie more interesting. Most of the occult truths that are in the Star Wars saga are found in The Empire Strikes Back, with Yoda teaching Luke, do or do not, there is no try. You must unlearn what you have learned. And many axioms like that. I'm not sure where Lucas borrowed each one from, but I do know that Lucas pretty much borrowed everything that he included in the movies. Even the design for Chewbacca is said to not be his own. But these axioms are true nonetheless. That's why it resonates so well with people. Unlike the newer trilogy that doesn't resonate hardly at all. It's almost as if they didn't understand the Force and how it works. Oh, it's just telekinesis? Well, we'll just make it bigger telekinesis. We'll have Rey move more rocks than Luke could. And they left out all the underlying truths and hermetic principles that go along with it. They ditched the archetypes for characters who mostly didn't have anything to do. And they switched back and forth between directors and writers. The left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing, and you just got a big jumbled mess. In short, they forgot what Star Wars was about. What made it such a big hit. And they approached it like they would any other movie, when Star Wars just isn't any other movie. Now, the first of the new trilogy, The Force Awakens, did the best. But that's essentially because they copied and pasted the original Star Wars, A New Hope. It's basically the same movie, except that, again, the original was better. In the original trilogy, they also had this idea of Luke needing to confront Vader. And in The Empire Strikes Back, Yoda didn't want him to rush off and confront Vader. He wanted him to stay and finish his training. But by Return of the Jedi, Yoda had made it the last part of his training that he had to confront Vader in order for him to be a Jedi. And once again, this parallels Hermeticism. A lot of the training that we do in Hermetic magic is to be able to confront and conquer our own demons. There was one part of Empire Strikes Back when Yoda sent Luke into the cave, and he had a vision of him confronting Vader, and he defeated him, but then the mask blew open and Luke saw his own face as Vader. Conquering your own demons and faults in order for you to become the best version of yourself is a large part of Hermeticism. Being able to confront your fears so that you may act in spite of them. Fear can be very paralyzing to where people don't want to act at all. Luke wanted to rush off and face Vader as part of the hero's journey to confront him. That is until he learned that he was his father, and then he didn't want to kill him. In spite of everything that Darth Vader had done, Luke still had compassion for him. While they had planned to turn Luke to the dark side, Luke had planned to turn Vader to the light side. In spite of all the evil that he had done, Luke was offering him forgiveness. And we've talked about the importance of forgiveness on this channel and in my programs. There's so many powerful threads running through Star Wars. And the last one I want to talk about is one of the most profound ones for me personally. And that was in Return of the Jedi, when Luke spoke with Obi-Wan Kenobi's spirit. And Luke asked him, Ben, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me that Darth Vader was my father? And Ben Kenobi's like, well, what I told you was true from a certain point of view. It looks like a certain point of view. And Ben says, Luke, you're going to find that a number of the truths that we cling to rely solely on our point of view. And I used to think that was such a cop-out. And that's because I didn't understand it at the time. And that's because most people believe that there's an absolute truth. But as the Hermetic principles say, that every truth is but a half-truth due to the law of polarity. And so your own personal truths are going to rely on your perspective. I mean, take politics, for example. Republicans and Democrats. Both sides say they're telling the truth as they see it. The other side would swear up and down that they're lying. But they're merely telling the truth according to their own point of view. And this is why it's so important to understand the law of polarity. And this one scene has stuck with me ever since I've seen it. I didn't understand it at the time because I didn't understand the law of polarity. I didn't understand that every truth is but a half-truth. But the reality is that everyone will see the truth through the lens of their own perspective. And it's one of the most profound occult truths in the Star Wars saga. Now, the prequels weren't really good for much, other than showing how the Emperor used the law of polarity to rise to power and take control. The Emperor played both sides off against one another, and he started a war in order to rise to power. Now, you don't have to start a galactic war in order to take advantage of the law of polarity, but it does illustrate just how powerful it can be when one remains neutral and depolarized while using polarity to their advantage. And the last archetype that Star Wars uses to its full effect is the redemption story. The entire Star Wars saga, minus the latest trilogy, is a redemption arc. It's the redemption of Anakin Skywalker. That no matter the evil that he's done, he can still come back to the side of good. And that resonates with people. And by Luke succeeding in turning his father back to the light side, Anakin was then able to destroy the Emperor once and for all. That is until the latest movie, where they had to rely on bringing characters back from the dead because they had nothing else to go on. Yeah, don't count the latest movies. But it's this redemption arc of Anakin Skywalker that the entire saga is really based around. And as far as the prequels were, it did have some really good moments. There's one in Revenge of the Sith, where Obi-Wan is telling Anakin that Chancellor Palpatine is evil. And Anakin says, from my view, the Jedi are evil. Right? There's that polarity again. There's that truth based upon your own perspective. And it's interesting because nobody who's evil ever believes that they're evil. And of course, the story of Star Wars leads Anakin to the dark side, where he becomes the ultimate authoritarian tyrant and does unspeakable things. Yet once he redeems himself at the end, we're happy for him. And it works. That his final act was to destroy the Emperor and save his son out of compassion for him. There's so much going on in Star Wars. The original trilogy is still one of the greatest trilogies of all time. But it's not just happenstance. George Lucas stacked the deck. He put a lot of archetypes and hermetic knowledge into the movies. And I'm hoping it's now there for you to see as well. Leave a like and share this video if you enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter @FraterXavier. Visit us on Facebook at Facebook.com/RyanderMagic. Check us out over at Patreon and subscribe star, where patrons get early access to videos.
Not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that one. Ball at the 33, 2nd and 9.
I've said somewhere or other before in this channel that we think in symbols. Even if it's not always conscious, it's always there. And one of the big, very visual symbols in Star Wars is the Death Star. Very much this symbol of the Empire's power and threat. They even talk about it as such. Fear. Keep the local systems in line. Fear of this battle station. No star system will dare oppose the Emperor now. Which is true in a literal sense because it's this great technological power that can blow up a planet, but also symbolically it's this visual image of the Empire's dominance that just seeing, just knowing it's there would crush your spirit and give you reason for compliance. And in a way it reminds me of the Eye of Sauron, this ever great looming, all-seeing presence of fear and power, or many great fortresses constructed throughout history, not just as a physical defense, but also as a symbol of power. It was clever as well to make the Death Star visually similar to the moon, and kind of remind you of it for that reason, this ever-looming thing around our lives. The thing is, though, that's a bit of a risk, because having this clear symbol of their power and dominance would crush your spirit more than not having one, even though the fear of the unknown is the greater one. Without that symbol there, you can at least have the illusion of feeling free or powerful, or the potential for reaching that. With the symbol there, you're denied that possibility and awareness of the potential. However, there is the risk that the symbol of the Death Star is a clear target. It's something concrete for the rebels to try and destroy. Because it works as this symbol of power, the destruction of it would symbolically then feel like the destruction of the Empire's power altogether, the death of its dominance over the galaxy. Literally and practically that isn't true, because the Empire still has huge power and grip, but symbolically, the rebels being able to destroy the Death Star would bring such a great wave of hope and momentum, much more than would ever have come about had the Death Star never existed to begin with. So whilst the Empire are still the dominant force at the end of Star Wars Episode 4, symbolically, it no longer feels that way. The rebels have momentum. In the Death Star's destruction, much more than in the development of Luke, they've been given a new hope. If it's not obvious, I watched Star Wars 4 again the other day and thought to make a video about some of the symbolism in it, whether intended symbolism or not. There's probably quite a bit, and we know George Lucas was inspired by Joseph Campbell's classic mythic book, The Hero with a Thousand Faces, so inspired there's even a George Lucas quote on the blurb of my copy. Not that we are going to go through the whole hero's journey and archetypes thing here, because I suspect that's been done. It's just to point out there is some symbolism and mythic quality to these films, and I wanted to talk generally about some of the symbolism I drew from it watching this film again for the first time in years, really. Obviously, it's all my own interpretations, as with all my videos, and because Star Wars is so familiar as this fun franchise I grew up watching, it is difficult to think about it artistically, so I suspect there will be lots I've missed and lots of space to add points in the comments. Anyway, I think beginning the film kind of from the focus of C-3PO and R2 is possibly the best way George Lucas could have introduced us to what was a very strange and extraordinary world at the time. It makes this vast, epic fantasy feel grounded throughout its prologue. They bring some simpler comic relief to what could have been a bit heavy and grand. We see them bickering on this ship whilst we're introduced to Darth Vader and all the political stuff. Then see them bickering on Tatooine to ease us into this new location before we then get introduced to Luke. I just think it's a good way to set the world without having to spout too much exposition or anything, setting it more tonally rather than practically, I suppose. And symbolically, droids are just very interesting in themselves from the fact they're not human and remind me of the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz, who lacks a heart. C-3PO even has some similarities in appearance, and he's an interesting character because he's pure intellect, really. C-3PO is hugely knowledgeable on languages and protocol. Why, it's my primary function. And very well spoken and mannered, and yet entirely unable to really connect with anyone.
Language to me. I'm sorry. Shut up. I'll take this. Shut up, sir.
Despite all his grasp of language, he's always ignored or told to shut up, or in R2's case, seen as a nagging voice to just not listen to. And that's a fun, slightly sad idea, really. Intellect without much heart, and also a bit of a people pleaser who's unable to think for himself so much as to follow protocol and avoid trouble. Although later in this film he does tell a lie to the stormtroopers, I think that's kind of development there, but I'm certain Double D from Ed, Edd n Eddy was inspired by C-3PO. He kind of lacks his own voice and is instead more of a translator for others, specifically R2, who, in total contrast, doesn't really have an understandable voice for the audience. I mean, whilst C-3PO translates some of his speech for us, or Luke does later on, lots of it is just not given any translation, and we're left with tone to try and judge what he's communicating. I think his way of speech is genius, by the way, how to make him sound inhuman and robotic and without any words, but also quite emotional at the same time. I don't like him either. But yeah, R2 is without language and yet has more of a voice and impact socially than C-3PO does. He's a character that, so much so he's the inciting incident for the entire film. He carries Leia's message, and I guess Ben is technically a MacGuffin, but he's also much more than that, which coincidentally is something said to me by someone the other day. The cycle we get of the fragment of Leia's message playing on repeat as a good analogy representation. Unable to quite pass through its completion, but getting stuck and so repeating over and over again. That's just a tangent though. C-3PO and R2 make an interesting team in this sense anyway. Knowledge and action, conformity and individualism. The two do come as a pair throughout the franchise really, and so symbolically seem like two sides of a greater whole. R2 may be more obviously positive and impactful of the two, but C-3PO's voice of protocol and moral reasoning can serve to keep R2 in check. I mean, I guess droids are interesting if you think of them also as sentient living beings that are treated as a subhuman race to be owned by human masters, which makes the Jawas stealing and selling on droids very much like human trafficking, which is a very dark form. Despite their obvious sentience, droids are treated as lesser consistently throughout the film, and we have to wonder that if C-3PO and R2 weren't owned by the good guys with Kylo Flick as their owner, would R2's brashness have landed him into trouble, where there'd be no place for anything other than C-3PO's more anxious obedience and submissive protocol? I imagine that's what's more typically expected of droids. But anyway, I like that Luke's home isn't the wonderful, innocent, sheltered home where, through the plot, Luke then discovers the world isn't actually so innocent as he thought. It's not that trope. Instead, I guess it's more Joseph Campbell, but it's a very bleak and barren place from the beginning, full of crime, where they are buying stolen droids, and there's sand people out there, and Jabba, and just generally a written hive of scum and villainy. Luke knows all this, he isn't sheltered, and he hates the Empire, and he wants to get away, even if he's also reluctant until his aunt and uncle die, which, you know, he's less torn up about them dying than the death of his guru he's only had a close connection to recently. But still,
if there's a bright center to the universe, you're on the planet that is farthest from.
We've got the sense from the very beginning that this is very much an arid wasteland, lacking meaning and justice and life, spiritually empty and in need of revival, which is a fitting comparison to the ending of the film on the fertile land of Yavin 4 and the original trilogy finishing on Endor. Also fitting is that Uncle Owen is a farmer who is struggling to grow food, symbolically infertile and without creation. Luke feels lost. He knows he wants to get away, he knows he wants to learn about his father and his past and seek meaning there, but it's not something his uncle will talk state, and he doesn't know how to change that. And in contrast to the dusty, tacky, arid, often dark aesthetics of the ordinary people in the rebellion, we get the perfectly clean blankness of the Empire. Like, I know it's the case in every sci-fi film ever, but why are spaceships always so blank and lacking any decoration? Why is it we wouldn't take seriously as an audience a spaceship with, like, wallpaper or ornaments, obviously once those shatter, or landscape paintings or something, you know, they're always so claustrophobic.
Just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
You understand.
Three quarters have come and gone. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. It's Bears football, but they trail on the scoreboard as we get set to bring you the fourth quarter. Williams throwing on first down. His throw here's incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Komet has it. What a grab. And he's taken down right away at the 39-yard line. A good pickup, 17 yards and a Bear first down. They run out of the gun with Swift. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Looking to throw. Williams. He'll drop this one off to Swift.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good. And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle him almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line.
It's a pickup of 10 and a Bears first down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
2nd and 6.
Operating from the gun, Williams. And under the Lions.
I was wide the fuck open, dude.
Hutchinson picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense. I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. Here's Williams to throw on 3rd down.
That's complete right side to Kmet.
Yeah, boy, he had the margin square in his sights, but a good tackle's going to leave him about a yard or so short. 1 score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They run. It's Johnson. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29.
Okay, you and I are sitting up here getting ready to analyze whether they should go for it or not. Did you see the quarterback just point to the sideline and say, everybody back, I've got this call?
Well, you knew this side of the field, they're in plus territory, 4th and 1. He wasn't coming off the field.
No, he wasn't coming off the field. He wasn't letting the offense go with him at all. He said, we're staying out here, and we're picking this one up. That's some leadership right there.
2nd and 3. 2nd and 3.
Out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. Back to throw. Williams.
And that's out to the flat for Swift.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Yeah, boy, from up here, I don't. They'll try and run for it. But he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. And they're going to hurry back to the line now.
They will run straight ahead with Swift.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Once again, it's Swift.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago.
DeAndre Swift
taking it in from 4 yards out.
And the Bears go coast to coast and finish the drive off with 6 points.
And this is a time of game where offensive lines can really dictate a team's fortunes. It's been a tough battle. They've been out there for a long time. But this was a question of who can wear down who. And that's excellent work to put a long drive together and finish it with a touchdown run to take the lead.
Santos going to Hill, and that gives him a 3-point lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown. Their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. 25 yards there on the catch and run. From the 50, it's gone. Wide open receiver complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Here's Goff. And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far. Picked up by Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker. And the Bears are able to take over a couple of yards shy in midfield. That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation, too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw, or maybe the ball's tipped, or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Why are y'all fucking no huddling, dude?
Now an audible here into something else. Now Williams to throw on second down. Oh, no, he lost the football. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. So possession still theirs, but now they face a third down.
Bro, this is fucking crazy. They like fucking me over, bro. These niggas is no huddling without my consent.
The good news, they kept the ball. Bad news, it's third and long. Looking to throw. Williams. And that is incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that they
are literally just making up shit right now.
The clock really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
The Bears tried it on fourth down, unable to convert. And the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw.
Oh, that was a sack, man! What the fuck, bro?
10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. They'll try the middle with Montgomery. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Back to Montgomery on second down. And he'll be going inside the 20 at the 19. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Here's Goff. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to him. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Goff now looking to throw. Going underneath. Gibbs has it. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. The Lions on third down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 9. Goff now looks to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And in for the Lions touchdown. Jared Goff with his 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon. And the Lions have taken a 4th quarter lead. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that will make this a 4-point game. Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. Velus Jones now from his end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Bears offense out there set and ready to go. We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the fourth quarter. Now left side on the swing pass. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. Williams now looking to throw on second down. Able to find Kmet. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They face a critical third down now, needing a score here in the late going. Up the middle, Johnson. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. The Bears moving.
Bro, this is ridiculous, dog.
He's back to throw. Sliding out of the pocket. And that one complete downfield to Allen. And he is going to get out of bounds with the first down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the first and save a timeout. Absolutely ideal there. Get a good size play, get out of bounds.
Now you saw the coaching there. That is taught and it is emphasized. Get out of bounds, understand your situation, as well as just understanding the game.
Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here. He'll look to throw. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. Well, certainly those are the types of mistakes they're trying to avoid as they attempt to protect this lead late in the game.
And let's face it, they're hoping that this one doesn't cost them in a significant way. Yeah, one guy committed a penalty, but now the entire defense has to pay the price and try and rise up and overcome it.
Here we go, 1st and goal. Back to throw. On the throw, let him too much that time. It's incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a non-stop. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Back to throw. They'll try and set up the screen to Swift.
What is going on, bro?
8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
Y'all hating, bro.
Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding call.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just a...
Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. And the Lions have just about sewn up this football game.
Partner, have you ever heard the story of Icarus in mythology? That's the guy who flew too close to the sun and had his wings melted. That was our guy right there. Keeps pressing it and pressing it. Finally, on that throw, he paid the price with that turnover.
We got to have 2 hands on the football.
Oh my God, fuck!
First down. A big pickup there. Without question, that should be more than enough to wrap this one up. Lions will take the knee here with victory in the cards. Now the Bears will use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions.
Charles, for this losing side, their heads are hanging as they walk off the field today. And really, I mean, we know why. Those 3 turnovers by that offense, that's ultimately what doomed them.
And this is what coaches preach all the time to every team that we ever talk with. Taking care of the ball on offense, you take it away on defense. And let's face it, when you give it away 3 times in one game, you make it very difficult for your team to get the W.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Lions as we say so long from Ford Field.